All right. All right. Good morning, family. How's everybody this morning? I pray that everybody's blessed and God look over us, put us where we need, get us ready for this new day, and take on what all the day has for us. Our job is to prepare for those things. Whether you whether you retired like me or whether you in the middle of the workforce, we all got work to do. There's always things to do. If we're up, alive, and breathing, then there's things to do. We're on top of ourselves, then we're shopping, we're ready, and we're up on duty. And that's what we do, and that's who we are. Once again, good morning. I'm your host. My name is Melvin Jackson. And, brought to you by New York. I'm a product of New York. It's not so much to make a New York as such, because wherever you are is where it's happening. And just so happened, this is where I am, and this is where we at, and this is where we're trying to go. Welcome to the Anchor Club. I'm your host. I'm your brother. I'm my brother's keeper. I'm your anchor. Anchor on to God. But if you can't reach that far, anchor to me, because I'm anchored to God. And that's where our strength come from, and that's what we rely on. When we go outside of ourselves, we go to our highest power, and that is God, and He won't let us down once again. So, once again, welcome to the Anchor Club. A few things came across my mind this morning. I don't know, one thought led to another. That's how my mind works. And one thought led to another, and I thought about, when I get to a point and I know myself, or getting to learn myself at the early stages anyway. I knew enough, at least I thought, about myself when I'm not in a good mood. And I could be sharp, I could be brutal, I could be in an agitated mode. Knowing those things about myself, I always try to be mindful of my disposition. I don't know, sometimes I guess it's a part of being human. You just wake up and you could be in a bad mood. You might have went to sleep the night before and something is pondering in your head and you're not happy about it, and so you're not in a good mood. I used to always try to make it a point to be mindful of my mood, because my younger days, I didn't care, to be honest with you. I'm in a bad mood and everybody's gonna know it, and if you come in my direction, please walk gently, because it wouldn't have taken much to set me off. Usually after I go through that sequence, I obviously don't like what I see, and most times, or in the past, I used to find myself in a position apologizing for either taking my mood out on somebody that had absolutely nothing to do with my mood, or me for that matter, but they just was in, can I say it, the wrong place at the wrong time. It didn't, at the moment, I used to fool myself to believe that it felt good lashing out, taking, letting my feelings loose, man. I get a thought cross my mind, man, you know what? I feel like doing this, or I feel like doing that. In my early days of not understanding my immaturity, I let loose, boy. Go ahead. I say to myself, go ahead, do what you do. And again, most times there was a price to pay, for those things. Sometimes the simpler part would be to apologize. Sometimes I would apologize and not really mean it. Just do it just because I didn't want the trouble that came behind it. But as I got older, I realized, excuse me, the importance of self-control. My mother used to always teach us, or when she seen it rear its head, if you will, um, and naturally I always kept that in check when I was home. But then I had to learn how to practice those things when I get out and abroad and into my day and dealing with whatever the situation, whether it's school, whether it's work, was it whatever it was. But I stopped there for a minute to say to myself, because my thought went further, and it said, "But imagine, I mean, remember how you were when you felt justified." It was what I call the because. Well, why did you do that? Because he approached me the wrong way. He said the wrong thing. Um, Whatever I could blame it on, I certainly would blame it on. And again, that didn't sit well, because I knew in my heart that those things were correct. It used to be a way that I could try to justify my mood for any given moment or any given time. But self control slipped out the door. Um, Again, and I come back to imagine when you feel justified, when you've done all of the so-called things, or whatever the situation called for. You did them things right, and you didn't get the outcome that you didn't get the justice. I'll speak more clearly. You didn't get the justice that you felt was warranted, and so now you're going to give justice to, no matter, like I said, who you're talking to, what you're talking to. I've done that with people in higher position, as well as people in lower positions. Both is wrong, and in terms of my self-defense, was a failure to those things, because my reasons and my reasoning. Well, I know I can tell you anything, but I know in my heart differently. And I didn't allow a lot of people in that space. That was just reserved for me. And most of us are like that. And sometimes I'm even like that to this day. But my point in just knowing those things, Scripture made reference to who can disrupt a lioness. Who can wake up a lioness? It almost, when I think further, naturally, man, lion ain't no lioness, ain't no joke. When she's sitting and resting, or sleep, or in this case sleep, and you wake her up and you arouse her, it's almost like somebody shaking you as you're sleeping, and you wake up abruptly, and you don't know what's going on, and you all of this is coming at you so quick, and it's agitated, and you jump up, man, what's going on? And and you agitated. Well, lioness ain't nothing to agitate, let alone the lion. I see this depiction of this little cub was with the mom's lion. I guess he was rumbling with a zebra, and he was exhausted. He ended up laying down, probably just resting, and somehow fell asleep. One of the little cubs ventured too close to the father. I call it the pops, and he bit the pop's tail, and the pops raised his head so quick to see what it was that agitated him, and the look said everything. He let her roar, and that little one ran up back to the mother. Okay, it's a depiction, but it's what I'm likening that. Who can disrupt the lioness? Who can agitate the lion inside of me and us? We got a lion there. We got a not so good side that's sitting in the office with nothing to do, waiting for that phone to ring so it could jump into action. Sometimes we're tickled by our own behavior. We think back and we laugh. I guess that's human. But when we're looking at the growth side, it's not a laughable offense. Because if I keep, pardon my expression, playing with myself, that's like playing with myself. When I need to jump into action, I'm ready for that. I don't come ready and agitated to do those things. But just like self-preservation at any given moment, I respond according to what's before me. Some things I might be proud of, and some things I might not be proud of. The outcome is whatever it is, dependent on how my thinking is. Sometimes, you know, the old expression, I didn't have time to think, I just reacted. You know, looking at those two different things is obviously, I think, important to what we're talking about to look at. Because I was I would say to you, do you really know yourself? You would say to me, yeah, I know. I don't know myself completely, but for the most part, I know myself. We use that phrase. The phrase is different than the reality of do I really know myself? But it just meaning to say, you know, when somebody keeps picking at me and picking at me and picking at me, you know, where do I go? Where's my stance? Who am I? It's almost like bullying, if you will. Somebody's bullying you for different reasons. I'm in a higher position than you. I'm bigger than you. Take your choice of why people do that and people are like that. That I can't control. That I can't control. But I am expected, once again, to control myself under those conditions. Sometimes being battle tested, we call it, um, to recall different things of ourselves, what we did in the past, how we felt, how we reacted, and sometimes we draw a model from that. And again, as a part of learning myself, they said that guy don't bother nobody. He's about himself, and some people that's easygoing, um, a part of their disposition. I don't know if it's true, because it could be that they know they self well enough that they become like repellent to certain things. But everybody has a point where if you keep poking, you know the old expression, keep poking the bear, and when they see whatever they're drawing out of you to see, most people say, leave him alone. Just leave him alone or her alone, or because they seen something and they don't want to deal with it. That's like being bullied. You know, I had a part where the tough guy was tougher than me, and for whatever reason he didn't like me, or maybe he was trying to show off around the other people that was around, and he picked me for whatever reason, maybe because I'm not aggressive, never been that way. I like I like just being a cool person, if you could pardon that expression. That's me evaluating myself. But yeah, I'm not running around with a grudge on my shoulder, a chip on my shoulder, and that's just not I've never really been like that. Well, anyway, he picked on me. I tried to avoid him. He picked on me a couple of times. And that one day I went to school, and I can't think that far to remember what my disposition is, but I guess that's not important. Just to say that he did it the wrong day, and I let myself go. And to say the least, it wasn't a very pretty picture. In fact, it was the opposite of control. It was the opposite of discipline. Um, I guess maybe he seen what he had to see, and he left me alone, and not maybe because obviously he was afraid of me or whatever, but I think he understood that um, that when you do it to me, we're gonna fight, and I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna stand for it. And so I think he probably went to another area to find somebody else he could pick on that wouldn't fight. Didn't make me brave or none of those things, but that's who I was. I still feel there's a part of that side on me, but I don't inspire to show that side. When I get worked up, I don't like getting worked up. It takes me time. It takes me a while to calm down. Knowing that about myself, I do today. I do everything in my path to not to allow that side of myself to rear its head. That's I don't like that. I don't enjoy being like that. So I refrain from that. But I'm just saying that knowing myself better, the older that I get, and the more I find myself maturing. That, like I said, I act out before, only to find out there's a price for acting out. Either I told the boss or the guy was in charge how I felt and didn't care, lost the job. There's always a loss with those things. Some people say, well, there's other jobs, which is true, but we always bring that same. It doesn't seem like it's one on every job, or at least I used to say that to myself, man. Because when you get to the next job, man, everything is great with this new job, but then he's a replacement for the guy that was at the other job, and I had to work my way around them. I know I had to learn how to coexist. I made my stand. Like I said, I wasn't no piece of cake, and I think sometimes my aura showed that. I think that people, they perceive you. They get a look at you, and like I said, some people try you. Some people will will cross that line, and you have to do what you have to do. But what I'm saying is that when you're more disciplined, doing what you have to do comes at a price. It's not necessarily a threat for me standing for myself, because I could always back myself up with that. I stand up for myself. That seemed the right way to go, and there's a part that's right about that. But when I'm disciplined and I understand, I know what damage I could do. I know where my heart is. I don't have to show everybody in the room what I'm capable of doing. It's a difference from one thing, leaving, being fired and walking off the job, and there's another extension to that, exaggerated part, with being escorted off the property and possibly being arrested for assault. Those are the variations that we're looking for, and certainly as we get older. Sometimes we're not the best example of that, but I think what I'm saying is when we're ahead of the game, so to speak, then it's like, okay, I'm not in a good mood. So sometimes I'll avoid certain things. I'm not looking for confrontation. It won't serve me in the mindset that I'm in. So I avoid it, man. I might find myself during that day or during that time off to myself. Maybe somebody's closer to me to come and say, hey, man, what's up? You usually over here joking with us? Yeah, I'm not, I got things in my head. I got trying to do this someday. I'm really just not in the mood, man. But I'm good, Yeah, how you doing? So and so and so. And then, and I keep it moving. And that's knowing myself. So those kind of self-controls are used by the one that called the shots. We are that one. You are, and I am. And so we're expected to keep that in check. So it's learning about who we are and what and also what we're capable of doing. Things escalate. He did this, I did that. I felt this, and it goes on and on and on. So I like to be ahead of it sometimes. When you get to the growth part, then you be practicing big words like restrain. Because the thought come across, man, I could take that dude apart. I mean, in no time. There's a self-assurance that say, I could do that, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. What I'm trying to reach, what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to reach is above that. Can you follow me? I hope you can. I think you can. Um, what do I gain? That dude ain't nothing, man. He ain't nothing, or she ain't nothing, or meaning to say, what I'm saying when I say they're nothing. They're nothing in comparison for what I'm trying to do. And sometimes when I get through the day, or in the past when I've gotten through the day, I felt good about that. I felt good about being in control of myself, in control of myself. Excuse me. In fact, I felt better about myself being in control of myself than letting myself, just go. Because like I said, at the end of the day, you know, I fail at that. And usually when you fail at something like that, there's repercussions. Sometimes it could be overlooked, and sometimes, um, you know, you're able to bounce back from that. Maybe you were suspended and you didn't lose your job, and you know, it's enough to let you know or to remind you that though that's not appropriate. You feel like when they sit down with it, oh well, all you had to do is bring that to us, tell the company what's going on, and blah blah blah. But then we know the favoritism in the company, so we hear that's a better way through their suggestion. But we know in our heart that wouldn't do anything and it wouldn't go anywhere. And in fact, probably the person ended up finding out that you went in there and, pardon my expression, snitched on them, and now sometimes making even the matter worse. Taking it in my own hands sometimes, depending on my approach. I could call somebody to the side, man, and say what I have to say and go about my business and hope that my point has come across. Maybe yes, maybe not. But it's worth it in terms of my self-control. I don't know you, you don't know me. I haven't done anything to you. I don't know what your problem is coming at me. I'm trying to, stay away from that kind of confrontation, man. I appreciate it in the future. If you need to tell me something, that you tell me in a respectful way and talk to me like you would like to be. I mean, it's the mature way of handling that. And I think I could feel more to myself, yeah, you did that right. He got that message. It's just me and you there. I'm not trying to show off in front of other people, and vice versa. It's just me and you. And so that's worth a try. There's different avenues to address different situations, like what we're talking about, you know. Um, and it's once again, it's us learning, man, and growing and becoming a better person, being a better example, being a better leader. Because then when I talked to my son or daughter after they had a little situation, and I said there was other avenues and ways of handling it. You could have tried this. You could have tried it. It's different when you come back and you say, I tried everything, but you know, I wasn't able to head it off. He didn't get the message, and he kept coming at me. And then one day he caught me at not my best point, and so the outcome is not good, you know. So we try to be, on top of ourselves, and excuse me, and be aware of those things. Life life don't just keep coming, man, because you trying to do the right thing, and you don't want all of that mess no more, man. You trying to avoid that, man. So maturity comes in time. I mean, some things you do have to try it. You know, if it means something to you, you know, sometimes, you know, like I said, when we're not mindful of those things, we go wherever it take us. You know, it's like you get on the bus or the train or transit, however you get to wherever you go, and wherever it take you is okay. That doesn't make much sense. I need it to take me where I want to go, not wherever it take me. I have to have control of that, and like I have to have control of myself. And I see my brothers acting out left and right, man. Sometimes I wonder if it's a mental health thing. Not that it's explainable, but if somebody's just not there, they're just not there, man. And so I leave that to God to decipher that. I hope and I pray that sometime I don't cross path with that, because it nothing, you know, I won't say nothing good will come out of it, because sometimes something good come out of it. You learn how to control yourself. That's something good. And that's something big. Imagine you telling somebody and they looked at you, yeah, and what you did. Well, I didn't really do anything per se. Some people look at you, tried to talk to them, you tried, you wasted your time. You ought to just took it head on. Nah, man, because there's no growth in that. It's no growth in that. So, you know, being on top of myself, man, knowing my moods, knowing where I'm at, man, and not getting in touch with my, you know, not getting too far out from my feelings, because feelings, man, feelings, sometimes if it's not attached to some kind of common sense, man, you go with a feeling, really. I've gone with my feelings probably as long as I could go. And thank God I'm not sitting up in a cell right now, because my feelings will have me restrained and sitting up in the jail cell. That's not a win for me. That's a drop back. I lose ground when I give ways to those kind of things. Feelings, I certainly have to be a onlooker on my feelings, man. Feelings, they say, in reality, afterthought, feelings are not facts. I got that. I understand that. But here we go. Here's the defense. But I got feelings. When somebody, approach me the wrong way or agitate me the wrong way, I catch feelings real easy and real quick. And once again, I don't like to believe that I'm short-tempered, but I like to be even-toned. That's the way I like myself. Not because I'm afraid, and not because I'm not afraid, but that's just how I like myself. I breathe easy with that. That's who I am. That's who I want to be. And I have my limits. I'm not sitting here acting like I'm whatever, because when I say whatever, meaning I'm all in control of all of that. And no, man, at any time I could be set off. But by being on top of it, I got a better chance, man, of scanning what's in front of me, and not just being reactionary to whatever comes out of nowhere. I'm on my way to work, and I have my mind on what I'm preparing myself to do, and then I run into somebody that's whatever, and now I change my agenda because, you know, a situation that they may have created. I want to make sure I'm not the one that's doing the creating and sit in the back and feeling, you know, I'm a victim. The guy pressed charge on me. I'm sitting in there. I got to get in touch with a lawyer. You know, they arrested me for assault, and all I did was, you know, back myself up, and I didn't do nothing, and I might have threw the first punch, but he said this to me, and I took exception to that, and you know what I'm saying. You know, so it's heading it off, man. It's heading it off. Sometimes they said, you know what? It's easier for me to get out of your space than it is for me to do what my feelings may have me do. Those are the recognition points that I'm saying and then knowing myself. Right now, I'm on a hot seat, and that flame is on my tail, if you pardon my expression. And and I'm ready for that. That phone ring. I ain't even gotta answer it. I swing into action. I'm like stand down, but I'm ready. And so again, it's knowing myself well enough to not to get triggered or tricked into sucker punching or doing something and now the dude accomplished it. Excuse me, I'll say it that way just for the point of what I'm saying. Now you're fired and you off the job and he's happy and he didn't like anyway or that kind of thing. Sticking to my plan, man, not getting pulled out of my circle for some stupidity or some jerk. Excuse my mouth, yeah, man. So we gotta get around those kind of things, man. Those feelings, man. The girl chumped me off. She ain't interested in me anymore, and now my feelings hurt. I seen her walk by with another dude, and now my feelings hurt. And I want to control that and who she thinks she, what we said it a couple of times. I can't make you want me no more than you can make me want you for whatever the reason is. Maybe I never really wanted you. Maybe I used you. And then when you're no more use to me, I rid myself of you. Those are hardcore lessons. I think I heard my brother say once before, you're not a man unless you've been tested. And then the sense of saying, a girl break your heart, man, you upside down, inside out, boy. I've experienced that. That's a hard feeling. How to get people out of your system takes time. That surely takes time. It can't move quick enough for your moment because you hurt and your feelings is hurt. And if it haven't been hurt before, you don't sort of know what to do. Sometimes depending on who you talk to, depending on obviously good advice and not good advice. Oh man, I fix her. You know what? I do this and I do that and level-headed person look at it and say, but what do that? Well, because I'm getting even now. I mean, is that what I'm about? Is that what this is about? It doesn't make you feel less hurt. Getting even, you think, oh yeah, now, you're still hurt. Because your feelings is attached to somebody that don't care nothing about you. I'm just using that as an example. Might care, but not interested in anymore. You're a nice guy, but we're not going in the same direction. You know how you can get chunked off real easy, You might see what you may not want to see. She's spending time with somebody else and telling you something else. How do you handle that? Your feelings are shattered, man. Everything you thought, you feel like a fool. You feel like a fool. Who likes that? Who likes feeling like a fool? Nobody I know, and certainly not me. Those things that our feelings, man, could jam us real bad, man. So understanding what we're understanding that those things happen and you're going to go through it. You're not the first and you won't be the last. That's what happens. And you got to learn how to deal with that from a mature standpoint. Ain't nothing like going back then, try to do something to make you feel better to that person. That got lost all over it. Again, man, I used to liken it to walking away from a short relationship with your heart in a plastic bag dripping as you walk away, man. People will hand you your heart, tear you up, man, and have no need for you, man. It's a terrible feeling, man. but it's a part of growing up. Me, have done it to other people, and so shall it be done to me. Those of us that said, I never did that to nobody, but why is it happening to me? It's life. Certainly. My brother always used to teach me, half the time you ain't ready for a girl or a woman, let alone a girl, one young woman, but an older woman is it's just another advanced stage of that. But meaning to say, you got to become familiar with that, and then you handle it accordingly, and that's how you learn. That's how a man learns about a woman, and how a woman learns about a man, and vice versa. And those things are, a fact of life, man. Somebody that you care about, like I said before, may not feel the same way towards you. So how do I fix that? What do I do with that? How do I know when it's time to move on? When somebody's doing things to me that I don't think is fair to do. How do I move on? Well, you move on. And you get over them. And short down the distance, you'll run into more. Because that's just the reality of life. It's just somebody gets so close to the relationship and they get nervous. What are you nervous for? He's this, he's that, he's nice, he brings you flowers, he do nice things for you, he seems so well-headed. Everything just seems like the perfect man in this situation. But then you start to find out his imperfection. They used to say, and I've heard this before, and it tickled me a little bit, but it's just a little truth to it. To say when you meet a person, you meet the representative. The person is shortly behind, but you so-called see the better part of them. You don't see the worst part, and you certainly don't see what they're capable of, or you don't know that until you see that. You, beloved, like me, are responsible for holding this guy down. See, that's my job, not to hold you down. No, that's your job. To each his own. We have to learn that my control is me, and I can't control what you do or how you do it, but I am expected to control me. So these are little nitpicks and little things that I look at as I get older. I think as we get older, we even fine tune it as we go along. When we it's different from reading the book. Everything, so we're aware of it, but then when it happened, it ain't happening to the book. It's happening to me. Where do that fit in with me? What I know about myself and what I'm about to learn about myself. And as I learn, I make those adjustments, because that's what growing up is. That's what advancement is. That's what maturity is. You can't stay a kid forever. You can't stay a young person in terms of experience forever. You gotta grow. And so you gotta see things, and you gotta go through things. And sometimes, hopefully, you go to somebody that has some kind of level head. When you get a feedback from somebody that, you gotta be careful who you talk to. I talked to a fool. What could he give me? But how to be like him, a fool. If anything, I want to talk to a wise person or a wise man. But I want to be wise. It doesn't mean I can't live on his stripes, on his shoulder, if you will, his rank, and he can't live on mine. But when I'm being fed the right thing, and that's what I think is important about us, even having this talk or this discussion, is because it is important. It is important, to talk to somebody with a level head. Because they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. It's not going to be that way. No, it's not. So just get it out of your head. and usually the one that tells you what they think you want to hear or how they handle things that don't match up with any kind of sense, and you running in the wrong direction and doing something that you'll be so sorry for that you'll pay for later. You can't, I can't run with your feelings no more than you can run with my feelings. When I go to talk to somebody with some kind of level head, I come with confidence to know that you're not going to pull punches with me. You're going to tell me the real, and you're going to tell me what I need to know. And there lies my growth. That's my growth. You gave me the good advice. You told me what I'm going. I mean, you kind of explained what I'm going through to me. Showed me what the real deal is, and now I gotta execute. I gotta go out there, and I say go out there, but I gotta face whatever's in front of me, and I gotta execute. And I'm not trying to blow wind at you by telling you what it calls for and the better part of that. And then it's up to you to decide. It don't feel right, me not getting revenge. That don't feel right. But yet it is right. Because you're bigger. You find yourself bigger than that situation. It doesn't feel right, but you're bigger. Feelings is misleading. Feelings is not facts. I can't roll off of feelings. No. So we need to recognize our feeling, but we need to also recognize who we are in our feeling. My feeling can't control me. I gotta control my feelings, man. And that means sometimes I walk away hurt. It don't call for a course of action as such. Maybe the action is walking away. The action ain't just retaliating. How do I get bigger, better, stronger? How do I get to know myself, man? If I don't start challenging myself with those kind of things, man. Every day life brings another challenge, excuse me. And so I have to deal with those challenges and those changes and whatever it brings. I have to prepare myself for that because it's coming. No sense I hear snow is coming and I'm walking around in sandals. It doesn't make sense. So family, it's another notch in our belt, something to think about, something to look at. They look forward to, what life is going to bring. But we want to look forward to the good things, man. We want to focus on the good things, man. Sometimes that might mean that you walk away with less. You're not. If you believe like I believe and I believe in God, you won't be shortchanged, I assure you. You'll feel like you are, but you won't. And if you know God like I know God, with this teaching, you will never be shortchanged. You'll always be a step ahead of what comes, man. In fact, sometimes in maturity, sometimes you see it coming, man. And you laugh to yourself because it's not that it's comical, but it's just one of those moments like, oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't say, oh, look here, come, I read about you. No, it's I'm familiar with you. I'm on God. I'm on myself. So I don't give way to that. No, you got to come back better than that with me. I'm not a Johnny come lately. I'm hip to that. It's a good feeling when, like I said, when you know how to handle things, man, and you give it time. And like I said, sometimes when things call for for us to concentrate on what we're doing, where we're trying to go, the bigger picture as it was, then those things they don't hold the weight like if I allow it and I think myself that it holds weight. I give it more credit than it deserves. That's you know how we look back and I'm getting to be an old timer now, and I say that's lightweight. That's lightweight. What you going through is lightweight. Oh, well, don't say that. These are my feelings. Yeah, it's lightweight. Because your feelings, brother or sister or family, is going to be twisted, and it's going to be tampered with, and it's going to be and it's not going to be pretty. Your feelings going to be. This won't be the last time your feelings get hurt, but you'll know that through your experience that you can't react to feelings. We control feelings. Feelings don't control us. That's like being in the mood. I'm not in the mood to go to work today. Okay, that's fair. Yet I go because I know I need my paycheck. So my mood don't pay my bills. My mood, sometimes I gotta go when I'm not in the mood. It's great going to work and whistle your way and everything is perfect with your moment. Some days you'll get days like that. When you do work or what we're talking about, you'll get days like that. You'll get unbothered days. You could look forward, I guarantee you could look forward to it. More than not. More than walking and slope and mean, mad and angry and in a space that we don't enjoy ourselves to be in. Yeah, every day is different. Some days start off good and end up bad. Some days start off bad and end up good. Situations seem bad, end up good. So you can't get played by your mood in the moment. Sometimes you gotta get past those things. You gotta get past that moment. And hopefully learn something from that moment. Maybe learn how to get past the next moment. Whatever it take. That's what it take. Whatever the payment, you look at, hey, that's a nice shirt. I like that. Hey, what do you want for that? Oh, the shirt is so. Oh, that's a little too expensive for my blood. Oh, that's doable. Oh, I like that. Can I see that? We work off of, what we're able to work off of. But, nevertheless, the challenge is there. We're pushing to become more mindful. These things just make you more mindful, but it also make you better because every situation we don't have to wait for the situation to play itself. Then, like playing cards, it's his turn, your turn, his turn, your turn. Everybody gets a turn. There's nobody that I know of that skip through all of this and don't get tested in some way, fashion, or form. I guess for my thinking, that's just not real. But if you live in this life, in this world where we at, you got to be on it, man. And I'll remind you again, man, we got a lot of situations against us, but family, I'll say it until I can't talk no more. We got God with us. You gotta get to know him, man. You gotta get to know yourself. This what I'm speaking of comes from God, man. And then it holds me more accountable than just myself. It holds me accountable to my Creator. Dude, it have to make you think. You have to have something that's bigger than you. That you bow down to the righteousness of what it hands you. And then you test it and try it out for size. And then, if you're blessed like I am, you see that it fits. My brother, don't tell me nothing that's not right. No, my father don't tell me what is not right. The ones that I trust, Don't mislead me. That's not who they are to me, let alone God. You know, we used to say blood is thicker than water. What's thicker than blood than the one that made the blood? Family, I slide all my coins if I was a poker player to the table, because that'll make me or it'll break me. But is it that makes me or break me, or is it me that makes me or break me, and my decisions on me that can make me or break me? Give it the test. Test it out. Then you're convinced that you're not fooled. You're seeing clearly. No fog in front of you. You're seeing what it is. And we deal with what it is. Excuse me. We deal with what is. We're based on, our footstep is in reality. This is real. This isn't some comic book or some silly TV show. This is real. And it makes a difference in our life. And it earns the respect of my attention and your attention. This is for a mature audience. This is not the Cartoon Network. This ain't the silly channel. We dealing with straight reality here. And if you follow the laws of it, I guarantee you, not only you'll see a better change in yourself, you will also see a better change in your circumstances and everything that it encaps. My life, period. We want to enjoy our life, beloved. That's all we request. To be free, to enjoy our life, to enjoy good moments, listen to this, and also enjoy bad moments, where we are unafraid of what's coming next. We are not paranoid, and we are not running and hiding under the bed somewhere. We are out front and we're confronting whatever it is, because we got a God that covers everything. You know that old expression I hear when I'm reading scripture? Here we go. If you haven't heard me say it, I'll say it again. Is anything too tough for our Father? It's nothing made, because all things were made by Him that masters them. He's not just good at them. He masters everything under the sun. Allow your mind to encap those kind of thoughts, because my doubts and your doubts is human and earthly. We deal with one that knows all things. You got a Father, man. You got a God there, man. Don't recognize that. Excuse me. Don't recognize. Don't miss that. Don't let that pass you. One day, if you're blessed like me and you've been here a few days, you realize how important that is. There's nothing about it you'll miss. You got a Father that cares about you. Sometimes the most humblest thing is to bow down to that Father. Introduce yourself to God, man. Because God is introducing Himself to you through me. I'm your messenger. Whether you want the message or not, only the Father knows. Not everybody's going to get it. I pray and I wish that everybody would, under the sun, get that message. But for the ones that can accept it, that is your message. Once again, our time is moved along pretty quick this morning, and I hope I encouraged you. I hope my message is clear to you. from the one that sent it. I am my brother's keeper. What you go through, family, I go through. We're one. Just like God is one, we're one. We're one family. And there's one God. Let us never forget that. Never forget that. So thank you, beloved, for spending the time with me this morning and listening. I hope I triggered something that would allow you to ponder some of these things. Like I said, they are most important. We're about improvement, and that's what we do. And we're reminders, and I am a reminder, and I pray I am a good example that God bring forward. Well, it's more than me at play here. It's my family. I don't play with my family. I take care of my family. I mean business with my family. There's a time to relax, but I love my family, man. Thank you for joining us this morning. Welcome if you're new to the sound of my voice. I pray that this is not the last time you hear my voice. I pray to be a messenger of God, and I pray to be a messenger to my family and my people. I'll do everything within myself to help that happen and make myself available. Hit the subscribe button. We could stay in touch. God willing, there'll be other messages that I will bring. Thank you for listening. I love you. Feel free to hit the comment section of this video, if you will. I'd like to know what you think. It's important to me. It is important to me. Thank you, beloved. I love you. Family, be safe out there. Love your family. Take care of yourself. And God willing, we'll see each other again. Peace to you. I love you, family. Take care. Thank you for listening.